when I doing design school, just to show it's the same thing that is repeated. Complexity changes. You see, children are learning the mother tongue where you are not reducing the complexity. Children are, left with the same complexity, they simplify and learn. So the content never changes actually. So my proposal is that, my request is that if it is possible to rethink the notion of art from product to process, from teaching to awakening, from known to the unknown. Where we don't go to this ready-made idea that this is what we should be doing. See, for example, children were drawing, they combine play and drawing together. But in a strict classroom, that won't be allowed. I'm telling them freedom. Why are we so strict about it? So they don't have any such rules that this is what drawing is, this is what, this is. They will just, that is what is actually playfulness means. So awaken sense the basis of all art forms and also of knowledge. Art is a result of direct experience. Rather than teaching skills to think, paint and draw, what needs to be done is to awaken the senses, to see, to hear, to feel, to touch, to taste and to move. So drawing, coloring, crayon, photography, everything all as a means to enhance and fine-tune observation. So the external world is absolutely beautiful. Just that we don't see it, that's all. Okay, I'll stop here. Thank you very much. In case if you still wish to meet me, this is my contact. Okay, thank you very much. Are you connecting it or if you are? Madam, are you showing it or? PPT. Yes.
Thank you, Jinan sir, for that wonderful presentation of yours. As an expert speaker, you have definitely brought art integration into languages very well. Now I call upon the best paper presenter, Madam Vibha Khosla, for giving her paper presenting. And the name of the paper is Exploring the Challenges and Solutions in Integrating Arts into English Language Teaching.
Namaskar. Very good afternoon. This is Vibha Khosla, Principal Modern School, Basant Vihar, and I have a very simple paper to present on exploring the challenges and the solutions in integrating art into English language teaching. But before I start, I'm going to ask a question. Imagine, you people have been given 50 potential pieces of a puzzle without the reference picture. How do you feel? Don't we feel lost and a little disjointed? How do we go about it? And now, if I give you the picture for the reference, how's it? It again becomes meaningful because we know the piece and where it belongs. I'm referring this not with what Sir said, but to another context. And my context is that when we have the meaningful content, That is what art integration does in English language teaching. So we all know that art is a rich and a varied approach to education that has the ability to transform education. It changes the passive learning to active learning, and students face new challenges but feel good about the learning. We all know the significance of art integration. It is a universal language that crosses the cross-cultural barriers and enriches the education experiences across the disciplines, improving the analytical, reflective, observational, imaginative skills, which are very, very important for academic achievement. It also helps to overcome the linguistic challenges, which help to develop more in-depth understanding of the subject and help students with various backgrounds and academic levels. We all know about differentiated learning, and this is where the role of art integration comes. Art integration, specifically in English language teaching, addresses the difficulties of discussing abstract concepts and emotions in the language classroom. It leads to significantly greater improvement in listening and speaking skills. It also helps the student as a benefit from more of analysis and inquiry, and improves the capacity of learners to convey their ideas and comprehend. Sounds very easy, but there are challenges. But we need to cope up with these challenges, and the main challenges that we found out were: first, perceived lack of expertise, time management, fear of unknown, impact of students' performance, and the struggle to strike a balance between art and the career. We all are aware, and the framework for this research has been taken from that art can help to reduce the learner's anxiety, making learning language more accessible, and encourages all the learners to use English in ways to express themselves emotionally and reflect on their experiences. Art integration can improve language acquisition, and hence there is an impact on the academic performance. The rationale for this study is that we know that there are challenges, but we are open to the potential solutions toward this. The objectives were, first of all, to identify the specific challenges faced by the English language teachers. Secondly, to examine the students' perception and experience with art integrated English language lessons which are taught. And the third was to explore the solutions and strategies to overcome these challenges. The method used here for research was a mixed method approach, both quantitative and qualitative. A simple method wherein we took 15 teachers and 90 students. These 90 students were divided again into 30 students from each primary, middle and secondary, again divided into groups of 15 each. A semi-structured survey was given to the teachers by giving them the Google form, and an informal focus group discussion was done with the students to gather their responses. The results which were seen as per the teachers when we used art integration was that over 30% of the samples reported of using art integration in almost every lesson, whereas 13% said that they rarely used it. The preferred method that teachers were using were drawing, sketching, collage making, poster creation, visual storytelling, art-based projects, and digital art. The teachers' responses and the challenges that the teachers faced. So 73% of the teachers said that there was a time constraint. And I'm sure most of us do hear this. 60% of them said that there was a limited resource and availability of material. 53% of them said insufficient training or knowledge. 47% said difficulty to align with the curriculum. 40% of them spoke that the students' engagement or interest, and 47% quoted the difficulty in making the learning aids. Despite facing the above challenges, 32% of them found that art integration was extremely effective. 33% had a neutral opinion, but the point to be noted here is 0% said that integrating art into English language teaching is, it's not effective. So it is effective. The responses that we gathered from the students. The first, I will talk about the challenges. They said lack of clear instruction, time constraint. Ma'am, there are so many subjects that we have. How should we cover it? We don't know how to manage our time. Balancing art and academic goals, connecting art with the lesson content, difficulty with the collaboration, impact on the overall learning, and varying interest in their skills and their levels. So every child cannot take it in the same manner. But the benefits which we found was enhanced motor skills, enhanced decision making, increased academic achievement, teamwork, collaboration, cultural awareness, self-identity and expression, leadership skills, patience and persistence, and visual learning. As far as the response which we got for the engagement, in grade 4 and 5, that's the primary level, 90% of the students increased their engagement to the activities, 75% in the middle and 70% of them in the senior. Now I will come up to the important solutions to overcome this. The first was the time constraint. I get it here that I have to make it in 2 minutes, so I'm going to do it. The solution was to incorporate art into routine English activities to be used as a warm-up activity so that students are engaged and connected. Create cross-cultural disciplinary English units. The lack of resources and limitations, we came up with a potential solution of building a digital library of visual English resources and leverage the free online storytelling platforms like Canva, and there are many others which are available. Insufficient training or expertise in art integration, the solution was establishing mentorship program for teachers, develop in-house training modules for visual literacy, increase teacher training and workshop. Difficulty in aligning arts with the English curriculum, the solution we came up was to integrate art-based skills into English learning objectives and design flexible art-based activities which are open-ended. For student engagement and interest, implement gamification in creative writing, so bingo can be used for various activities to learn English. Incorporate student-led art projects in English. And last but not the least, which is assessment, is use of peer assessment techniques for visuals and then aligning visual art assessment with the English rubrics. So when we are assessing it for English as well as the artwork that we have done. Coming to the conclusion, I would say this would help teachers and in their professional advancement. It is also going to increase their scope and degree of art activities. Collaborative strategizing would improve. We'll be creating more of creative thematic units, and there could be a continuous process to assess and enrich. So by implementing these approaches, English language teaching, fostering a richer learning environment for students all across the grades. Just like the clouds and the sky are in harmony. They seem different, but they complement each other very well. Similarly, integrating art in English language teaching could have a humongous effect, and children from all strata would start learning, differentiated learning getting incorporated. And I really hope that this was of some help to each one of you. And with this, I would like to thank the entire team of CBSE for giving me this opportunity. I would like to thank each one of you for giving me patience here and hearing me out. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the insightful presentation. It echoes Sir Ken Robinson's belief that imagination is the source of every human achievement. Now, with this, I would now like to request Secretary CBSE, Sir Himanshu Gupta-ji, to please sum up the session and give his key remark or takeaway from the session.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Janan sir and Madam Vibha Khosla ji for taking such an enlightening sessions. I think I would like to first of all ask all the principals who are present today, how many of the principals in how many of the schools do teachers are doing action research? So I think one of the key takeaways from this today's session was that in all your schools, principals must promote their teachers to do action research on various different topics. The way Madam Vibha Khosla ji did this on art education and English language, I think, and she told that it was over a period of 1 month that she could get so much of data and so much of insight over art education and English language. So it really shows that there is a need for doing such sort of action research in your school. The second takeaway, Jinan sir has also mentioned that art being a cognition activity. Now, in primary years, like Vibhaji was also saying, that as principals, you must the biggest takeaway for you should be that how you can now integrate art in your school curriculum by developing your own unit plans. Perhaps you need to sit with your cohort of primary teachers separately, then TGTs subject-wise and also PGTs, and you have to decide how much of the art integration. Maybe you can give some sort of. You can start off by saying that okay, 25 to 50% in primary years or K to 2 should be sort of lesson with art integration, and then try to iterate it in classroom. Try to get the feedback from the teachers and the responses from the parents, and see what is the impact and whether there is improvement. I give a very small example that me as a parent, I have a 5.5 years old daughter, and my wife used to sit with my child many times and try to get her done some mathematics sums of single digit. And our child, she used to after 10 minutes say, no, I'm not interested to do. And in classroom, we used to find that when she used to come with a kind of a classwork or the activities that she was doing, she was able to do a lot of those things. Then we found that with every question or every sum that she is doing in class, there is an art activity attached with it, and she was very interested. Whenever she used to solve, say 2 plus 4 is 6, then there were some flowers which she used to color. So we realized that it is not just art being used as a cognitive activity, but also as a reward activity in early years, or as children find it really very interesting to do things via art, so that in early years, that observation skill is developed and that inquisitiveness is there. So it is very important that as principals, you sit with your team of teachers and try to devise your unit plans. CBSE provides that flexibility. When you say that you have NCERT books, you can tailor make your unit plans as per the changing times. So you have books to cover, but the unit plans can be easily developed by the teachers in a way that a lot of activities around art are there. So that the idea is that the learning outcomes are achieved. Your main focus should be that, okay, I have to achieve these learning outcomes by the age of 5, by the age of 8, and this is how I want to proceed. So that's why try to focus on how you can bring art into your unit plans, sit with your teachers, iterate, reiterate, get feedback, and try to develop your own unique pedagogy in your school, which you can be really proud of. Thank you so much, Jinansa and Khosla Madam, for taking such a wonderful session, and looking forward for deeper collaboration on art integration. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your thoughtful words. Now I would request Himanshu, sir, Secretary CDSC, to kindly give the best paper certificate and shawl to the best paper presenter. Sir, I would also request you to please present a garland, shawl and memento for the expert speaker.
I now thank our expert speaker, K.V. Jinan sir, paper presenter, Vibha Khosla ma'am, and Shri Himanshu Gupta for their thoughtful presentation on integrating art with languages. I hope the session was highly informative. I request the dignitaries on the stage to take over the sofa of the stage so that we start with session 2. Over to Daniel sir.
Good morning to all our esteemed dignitaries and guests. I am Daniel Paul. It is my pleasure to host session 2. As we gather to explore the theme, learning through arts integration for children with special needs, I am reminded of the words Albert Einstein: imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited, but imagination encircles the world. Let us tap into the power of imagination and art integration to create more inclusive and supportive environment for our children with special needs. When we prioritize inclusion, we cultivate a space where empathy and respect can thrive. Over to Dr. Swati.
Thanks, Daniel. And now I would like to call upon the stage the session chair for session 2, Dr. Surya Bharadwaj sir, to please come on the stage. I would also like to request and invite Ms. Geeta Treffel, Head of Department ACJC English and Drama School in Singapore.
असेसमेंट वाला सेशन तो गलत कर दिया। हाँ जी
Okay, and
सेशन 2 में